Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I want to thank the witnesses. I'm going to go through a series of questions as I try to make my decision with regards to this deal. Secretary Kerry, in multiple times you've said this negotiation had one objective, to make sure they cannot get a nuclear weapon. Secretary Moniz, you're the expert here. Would you, in your opinion, do you believe this deal makes it less likely within the next decade, next 15 years, over a lifetime, for Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon?
Far less likely.
Okay, great. I don't trust Iran. Secretary Kerry, you said multiple times there's nothing in this agreement that is based on trust. Secretary Liu, you said there will be no immediate sanctions relief. Is that an accurate statement?
Sanctions relief will only come after Iran complies with all the measures to stop their nuclear program.
And in your estimation, is there enough in the verification regime in this deal that will allow us to?
I would defer to Secretary Moniz, but I have been persuaded by everything I've read and seen that it is the toughest verification regime we've ever had.
Yes.
Is that correct? And Secretary Liu, there is no signing bonus.
There is no signing bonus.
Okay, great. Moving on then, Secretary of Defense Ash Carter is not here, but I'll direct this to Secretary Kerry. In your opinion, would you say that Secretary Carter, as well as our Joint Chiefs, are satisfied with the ICBM provision of no missiles for 8 years, as well as the arms embargo for 5 years, as the best, that they would be okay with that provision? Okay. Moving on, Secretary Kerry, you've pointed out in your time and history in the Senate, you're a very strong defender of Israel and had a strong record of support of Israel. In your opinion, do you believe this deal makes Israel safer or less safe?
I am absolutely convinced beyond any doubt this deal makes Israel safer, and the region, and the world.
And would you say that President Obama shares that opinion?
Yes.
Okay. Secretary Moniz, we've talked a lot about the 24-hour framework. Is it accurate that you believe, as an expert here, that within that 24-hour framework, we will be able to detect any activities, nuclear activities, et cetera?
For the 24-day, for the 24-day access to undeclared sites, work with nuclear material, I feel quite confident we can detect, yes.
That there will be no cheating, that we will be able to detect if within that 24-day period?
I want to emphasize work with nuclear materials. Other work, non-nuclear work, might be a little more difficult.
Okay, great. Secretary Liu, if, in fact, there's no nuclear activity going on and Iran is complying with the terms of this deal, I do have serious reservations that they will continue to fund terror groups, fund organizations that destabilize the region. And that is worrisome, obviously. In your opinion, do you believe that if we acted in a unilateral manner to impose new sanctions or reimpose existing sanctions, not based on breaking the nuclear deal, but based on other activities, that we would be able to impose sanctions strong enough that they're felt in Iran?
Congressman, we totally agree that their actions on terrorism and regional destabilization are and continue to be an area of concern. We have been putting sanctions in place. We have reserved the right to put even parties who are delisted on the list again if, in fact, they're violating terrorism or regional destabilization provisions. I think that we have powerful tools. I think that the world knows we mean to use them. And I believe that our credibility in doing it has to be for real. It has to be that we're listing people for reasons of terrorism and regional destabilization.
And you feel we have the tools, if we have to do this unilaterally, to make it felt?
We definitely have powerful tools.
Okay, great. I will actually yield back the remainder of my time.
Thank you. We'll go to